I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
I think that we've all just about had enough, but you can never get enough of Not Your Normal Sunday. Hey, I'm Jeff. You know me. Remember me? The artist formerly known as the Christian Whistleblower. Now we're going by the Real Gospel Truth. Couple reasons for that. It's worth sharing as people come back. The Christian Whistleblower, I'll always be that, always was that. That came from my first appearance on Coast to Coast AM, where somebody called me the Edward Snowden of the New Testament. I'm like, hey, yeah, that's good. That's good. But the Christian Whistleblower had the effect of pissing people off and turning people off before they even listened to me. Some thought I was a Christian, wouldn't listen. Some thought, why are you being mean to Christians? They wouldn't listen. And I usually like to get my 15, 20 seconds of exposure to me before I piss people off. So that's the one thing. And the other thing is that the Real Gospel Truth is much more accurate and more descriptive, because the word gospel, and if you look on my X and on the thing here as well, you'll see the word gospel is a word that was invented 1,000 years before Christianity was ever created, and it means the good news of heathen victory. So the Christians stole our word and hijacked it and morphed it into meaning the message of the fake Jesus character. So that's why we are the Real Gospel Truth, because that's really what we are. And hey, we got to do it. But let me say hello to some great, great people. It is so awesome to see people coming back, finding their way. And please like and share, because not only does it move us up the algorithm, but it will allow some of the cousins to find their way back home, right? So let's say hello to Colleen Shermer. She's great. She's awesome. A great contributor to the D programs. places you can't go. Nice to see you. I got to figure these out a little bit. Abraham from Tennessee, Her Majesty, Renee Weatherford, Kylie Dugan, so great to see you. Dirt Gang, Arizona, great to see you. OMGs, says the great Corrine Shea. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Scott Shutt. Yep, I'm here after all these years. Good to see you too, brother. So let's go ahead and jump right into this, and let's get to where we're going. But I want to start with something from the aforementioned Colleen, because I thought this was really profound. Where am I at? I thought this was really profound, and it's great stuff. So she said the word G, the prefix G in Greek, and remember, Jesus Christ is a Greek word that should never have been brought over as a proper noun. Hello, Pam Tansy. Nice to see you. But G is a Greek prefix meaning earth or ground. And the reason this came up to my mind is because we heard what's his name, the comedian I talked about the other night, Jimmy Dore, which was brought to my attention by the lovely Cynthia. So G means dirt or ground or earth, right? And you remember that the Christians believe they were created from the dirt, the ground, the earth. So there's that. But the Latin word sus, which interestingly Jimmy Dore used, and interestingly, a lot of these people are now using it thinking that, it's just a silly word, but G means earth or ground, and sus means swine, pig, hog. It's the scientific genus for domestic and wild pigs, and is also the root of many related terms, such as the name for the domestic pig, Sus scrofa domesticus. So how about that? That's very, very interesting. So does the word, and this is so much just like the people of a certain persuasion that invented Judeo-Christianity. The very name of the very character that never really exists, id, is his name literally means earth pig, ground pig, dirt pig. I guess we could say dirty pig. And I guess we could go another step and say, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. You can put a beard, long hair, eyeliner. You can do a lot of things to a pig, but a pig will still be a pig. Are you with me? A pig's a pig, no matter what you call that pig. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really interesting. So now let's zoom into our deprogram. This won't be a terribly long one, but we're gonna hit it, and we're gonna hit it hard, because this is war, folks. This whole Charlie Kirk incident, this whole Pete Hegseth dog and pony show with the generals, the whole War Department. Hey, Sirius Shirley, the whole War Department. And this is a book I read some time ago when I was in Branson. It's called The Violent Take It by Force. It's all about what's going on in the Christian nationalist and the Christian identity movement. I hated that I didn't have my cool mic stand anymore, but it kind of gets me back to my roots, holding the mic like this. So I kind of like it. It's the Jeep girl from Jersey. Nice to see you. So here we go. Boom. Identity or sovereignty. These are our choices. We can either buy into the Christian identity movement, or we can remain divine, sovereign, and free. We can either fight the Christian identity movement, or we can surrender our divinity, our sovereignty, and our freedom. And again, this is from the book, The Violent Take It by Force. And as we pull back the curtain on the radical religious movement, Christian nationalism, and Christian identity, it poses a threat to American freedom. And it poses a threat for the last generation of real humans, the divine, the sovereign, and the free. That's you and me, baby. Renee Weatherford, yes, it's definitely kosher to partake in communion. Scuba Meru, nice to see you as well. Now, the NAR, which you may have heard of or you may not, because they try to keep it on the DL, That's the New Apostolic Reformation. It has a radical theology that's aiming to place Christian supremacy on top of what they call the 7 mountains of American life. I didn't censor this quite right. But the 7 mountains of American life are already controlled by their masters, the people of a certain persuasion. Now, you know we got kicked off of YouTube for 5 years. So now that we're back on YouTube, we're keeping it PG-13-ish, and we're taking advantage of the massive reach of YouTube. So please go along with me. Let's not use any words, phrases that will get us in trouble on YouTube. And if you do, I'll have to take you out of the chat. But it's not punitive. It's just letting you, trying to, and it takes a minute to get back in. We get it. We get it. Now, kosher's fine, but let's don't go any further than that, okay? Folks, you know what I'm talking about. So, Christian nationalism. Hey, Corrine Shea, thank you very much. She says, I was the first wake up to the organized religion deception. Thank you. Well, thank you for seeing it and getting it and realizing it. And again, please like and share this so we can get the cousins back together. Now, Christian nationalism and Christian identity can be summarized pretty quickly. It's the belief that America was founded, the United States was founded by and for Christians. And the most malignant forms of Christian nationalism and Christian identity are openly white supremacists and misogynists, and they lionize hierarchies between men and women within and between Christian nationalists, Christian identityists, and everyone else outside. Now, sometimes it gets spread around that Jeffrey Daugherty is a white supremacist. That's nonsense. Jeff Daugherty is not a white supremacist. Does Jeff like being a white guy? Yes. Does Jeff advocate for his race? Yes. Does Jeff want the white race to be optimized? Yes. But Jeff also wants the black race, the red race, the yellow race, the brown race to also be maximized. But I'm a white guy. I'm not red, yellow, black, brown, so there's not much I can do for those communities. They have to take care of their own backyard. So I am not a white supremacist. That's nonsense. I'm just a white guy that's proud to be white, that's tired of people trying to destroy my race, and I'm just here saying, hey, if black lives matter, that's cool. So do white lives, red lives, brown lives, yellow lives. So can't we all just optimize our own race and quit trying to tear down everybody else? I think that would be a great way to go. So no, I'm not a white supremacist, and if you look around, these Christians, from the ortho boys on down through the evangelicals, they're very misogynist. They hate women. They want to keep women down. It's terrible. And it's because they know the power of the sacred feminine. And when the sacred feminine gets optimized and the sacred masculine gets optimized, it's a duo that they, our enemies, cannot defeat, Mark Howard. So just a little bit of housekeeping there. But the New Apostolic Reformation and Donald Trump, his association with the New Apostolic Reformation is as much about theology and biblical interpretation as it ever was about politics. And remember the Charlie Kirk character. Cynthia brought this to my attention. I think it's very true. That Charlie Kirk character going to the colleges and the universities probably did as much as anybody to help Trump get reelected. Now, the preachers these days, if you talk about the coward Greg Locke, who refuses to debate me or discuss with me, if you talk about all these Christian pastors, they don't think of themselves as just preachers anymore. Oh, no. They're all prophets now. We got a bunch of them over here in Kansas City that can't keep their hands off of little girls and little boys, but they still call themselves the Kansas City prophets. And they're no longer content just to preach. They believe, and they always have, but now they're out front about it, they believe that they are speaking with the authority of the only true God, which of course is nonsense, and Matrix is real 69. Trump is also a world stage character, absolutely. I'm convinced that we don't even have the same Donald Trump that first ran. I believe that Donald Trump got killed by Ivanka the day before he was going to tell Pence, no, you're not the dude, when they went to the midnight ritual at Chabad at the Rebbe's grave and then took a last-minute flight out to Indiana. So, yeah, that's where I'm coming from. But these preachers today, they think they form, and they do form, a type of a charismatic Illuminati, fully convinced that they are God's anointed leaders for our time and that they hear directly from the Bible God, and they're battling against the devil. And you've got to understand what they mean by the devil. The devil means everybody that doesn't agree with them. So, yes, I'm the devil. You're the devil. And there are a lot of AI trumps now, Jeep Girl. You're right. There's AI everybody's, including, well, you know, the AI Kirk character, or at least a advanced AI rotoscopic overlay. And we're going to have David Weiss to come on and talk about that. And I'm going to try to get Derek Brose, because he knows a lot about Hollywood, having some history there. And I think he'd be able to add some really good stuff, too. Just Frank, great to see you, brother. So let's continue to move on. So the violent plan to take it by force. And we've got to understand that words mean things, and we've got to understand that even though they don't understand the rank and file what's being said, the people at the top of their pyramid, and it is a pyramid, they know exactly what they're talking about. Matthew 11:12, see, it's a sequence, and you can see the 3 3s right there too, right? 1 1 1, and then you got 1 1 1 is a 3, then you got 1 1 1 2 is a 3. 33 everywhere, folks. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, very much now, Matthew Garvin, great to see you, brother. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violence take it by force. You're right, Corrine. Whatever you believe about the Charlie Kirk incident, it wasn't a real organic incident. And I just can't get over the fact 80,000 people show up at that memorial, which was planned 5 months before, and they get this home of the Arizona Cardinals during the NFL season, and they put together this lavish production in about 10 days, which, you know, I used to work for the now departed Jimmy Swaggart, and it takes more than 10 days to put together a big production. And of the 80,000 people that were there, Charlie Kirk's mom and dad weren't there. Charlie Kirk's mom and dad, their job's probably already done. But let's break this down just a little bit. The kingdom of heaven. That word heaven in Greek is Uranus, sometimes written Oranos in ancient Greek, and it's the personification of the sky in one of the Greek primordial deities. So what they're saying is that when John the Baptist showed up, we were large and in charge. Us, our Greek, our heathen, our pagan sky deities were in charge. Uranus, according to Hesiod, a famous Greek writer, Uranus was the son and the husband of Earth, with whom he fathered the first generation of Titans. And by the way, we're the Titans today. Divine, sovereign, free, yet human, kicking ass and taking names. We're about to take our place again. So from the days of John the Baptist, when the heathens and the pagans were large and in charge, and if you remember, we didn't go out looking for Christians to kill. We didn't go out and kill other people. If you remember the Roman Empire, when it was a pagan heathen empire, when they went out and conquered countries, they didn't kill the people that were worshiping other deities. They didn't destroy the temples. They didn't ethnically cleanse and purge. They just said, okay, if you want to worship your local deity, that's cool, but you also have to give reverence to the Roman emperor. And I mean, you can't ask for any more than that. So that's the way we heathens and pagans roll. Look, we believe in our gods and goddesses. We don't care who you believe in as long as you don't bother us. And in the times when we do have to move out and take more land because people have been raping our cattle and stealing our women, well, then we come up and say, wow, yeah, we're going to have to take over here. You can do what you want to do, but you can't defame our thing either. So that's a human way to do things. Excuse me. And it was a terribly done false flag. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. Exactly. So, we were large and in charge. The world was pagan. The world was heathen. And when the John the Baptist character came on the scene, they started attacking. From the days of John the Baptist, that's when it started. That's the day that that's when the war on pagans and heathens started, was when the John the Baptist character came on the scene. They just told you that. And it continues to now. There's violence directed at the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Uranus, the kingdom of Uranus, our gods and goddesses. They came after us. This proves, without a doubt, to any and every objective mind, that Christianity intentionally and systematically attacked heathenry, not the opposite. Now, I'm not happy when churches get burned down and where Christians get persecuted. We want to leave everybody alone. But I find it very ironic that these Christians that launched a war of ethnic cleansing against us at least 1,000 years ago, and they've been ethnically cleansing and purging and killing and destroying every bit of paganry and heathenry and all of the people. Now when people get tired of their nonsense and start visiting upon them, now that the chickens come home to roost a little bit, now all of a sudden it's a crisis. I don't know where I first heard it, but somebody said, karma's only a bitch if you are. And Christianity has been queen bitch from day one. So this proves without a doubt, no matter what these little whiners say, this proves that Christianity intentionally and systematically attacked us, not the other way around. And the violence was brought to us heathens. Christianity attacked us. Suffereth violence means is subject to attack. So the pagan heathen way of life was attacked from John the Baptist till now. And then it says, the violent, the most forceful, will seize, snatch, and take away this world, this earth, this galaxy, this universe by force. Now listen to this. Christianity attacked us. And the one who fights the hardest in this war will win. This is why we have to fight the Christians. We did not start this fight, but we must finish it. And this is the war they declared on us, and we have to realize it. I'm not talking about a kinetic guns, bullets. I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about standing up for our divinity, standing up for our sovereignty, standing up for our freedom, refusing to bow the knee to this Judeo-Christian fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix, and saying, no, we will not allow you to overrun us with your nonsense. We will not allow you to take over our nation. We're going to stand and we're going to prevent it. And then we're going to go on the offensive and take our lands back. So we have to talk about this 7 mountains. Christian identity understands that verse that we just read as a mandate from the mouth of God, from the mouth of the Jesus character himself, for them to employ violence to advance the kingdom of their God on this earth. Find me a historical, documented instance of heathens and pagans attacking Christians who had not attacked them first. You can't find it. Now, this idea of the 7 mountains, it's the core message of what's called dominion theology. This mindset is rooted in a distinctive interpretation of the Bible that centers on the relationship between God and humanity concerning authority. Dominionists believe that their God gave them dominion over all creation. Now, it's important to remember this just doesn't just mean earth. This means all of our solar system. This means all of our galaxy. This means the entire universe. They believe that their God, who's a minor, puny, putrid, sad little God with great PR propaganda, they really want us to. It's like you're all too young to remember this, but it's like a guy being, oh, this one's not so bad. Remember Buttigieg? He was the mayor of some forgettable little town. I can't remember the name of it now, and he thought that he was ready to be president. No. Just because you run the corner store doesn't mean you're ready to run Walmart, man. So, oh, God, Rooney just blew it up, and I can't go in right now and scoop it out. Rooney just blew it up, man. I got my... Rooney! I got my studio down here. I have my own bathroom, but that's where the litter box is, and he just blew it up. He just destroyed it. You go away, you stinky bastard. Oh, my gosh, you stink. Anyway, according to C. Peter Wagner in his book, Dominion, How Kingdom Action Can Change the World, he's the damn you stink. He's the guy that was really responsible for the beginning of Christian identity and Christian nationalism. Yeah. He said that we, speaking of Christianity, will only take dominion if the body of Christ becomes violent and declares war on the enemy. Here's these Christians whining, crying. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. He's whining. They're whining. They're crying. Oh, we're being attacked. Oh, we're being persecuted. And the reality is that not only did they originally start it. Thank you, baby. I know, bad, right? Not the cosmic kitten smells like hell. You're right, Jeep girl. Thank you, darling. That's nasty, isn't it? And could you hit the fan on the way out, please? Woo! How many people want Cynthia to come on the deprogram? She won't do it, but give me a 1 if you want the great Cynthia to be on the deprogram someday. But anyway, they believe that Jesus told them to engage in spiritual violence to advance the kingdom of their God on earth. Isn't that a little odd for the Prince of Peace to declare war on everybody that won't agree with him? Isn't that very not that fan, honey? I just meant the fan over me. Wow. Very odd for the Prince of Peace. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. I owe you one. So this radical theology is called Seven Mountains. It's called Christian Reconstructionism. Oh, it smells so much better. This radical theology, it began with a group of Calvinist theologians called the Christian Reconstructionists back in the 70s, and they became the leading light of right-wing Christianity. They invented this thing called doctrine theology. Thank you, baby. Appreciate it. They invented this dominion theology, and they invented this idea of the seven mountains of culture. This is known as strategic spiritual warfare to them. And what it is a church governed by charismatic apostles and prophets who will lead that church into orchestrated, concerted, strategic campaigns, not only of spiritual warfare, but of literal warfare. If you listen to Spicky Nicky and all of these other people, and if you listen to the Hegseth speech to his generals that should have terrified the hell out of you, we did it on our other channels, but he actually was quoting Jesus. They're declaring war on us. Now, I'm not for anarchy, but boy, once you start putting the National Guard on the streets of the cities, of America, don't think they're ever going to leave. And these people, they clearly hope to see the United States operating as a Christian nation, and they clearly believe in what they call Christian supremacy. And Trump is using them like rented mules. I'm waiting for the nationalized police force. And here's a prophecy from me. I don't do this very often. I'm waiting for the nationalized police force, and part of their logo is gonna be that cross with the other crosses on it that Hegseth has tattooed on himself. This is that serious. They're going to create, if we allow it, a national police force that is Christian stormtroopers. And may the gods help anybody that won't bow the knee to them. So Christian supremacists believe that only Christians should occupy authority and positions in culture, politics, and other domains of public life. They believe that Christians are superior to the rest of humanity and are empowered by their God to govern all society. In their eyes, everyone that's not a Christian is empowered by satanic forces. They're waiting for Jesus to come back, but now the Georgia Cross, thank you, J. Bing, now they're not content anymore. They want to rule while they're waiting for him. And they're not just talking. They have a plan. They have a program. Christian supremacy has a goal to realign the global order. They say we're supposed to be the head and not the tail. They want coercive power in order to align society to their will. It's going to be back to the days of forced conversion at the beginning of the Christian era. Trump's Christian troops will be marching across the continental United States, waging war on everybody that disagrees with Christianity, and specifically this toxic ortho boy type of which is embraced by the now Secretary of War. You can be both, sweetheart. They're not going to rest. Now, is Hegseth a Zionist, or is he just controlled by the people of a certain persuasion? They won't rest until the whole world is under the submission and lordship of their version of Jesus Christus. Their plan is the 7 mountain mandate. And this plan is that all 7 aspects of society are to be dominated by Christians. That would be family, religion, education, media, arts and entertainment, business, and government. It originated from a divine message to evangelicals from Lauren Cunningham of YWAM, who I've preached with, and Bill Bright of Campus Crusade for Christ, who I've preached with, and Francis Schaeffer, who I haven't preached with. But they say they got to influence the 7 keys of society. But after a 2000 meeting, the year 2000, between Cunningham and a guy named Lance Wallnau, they decided that this spiritual mandate would actually be morphed into a strategic, social, political, and a spiritual mandate. But think about this. Controlling family, religion, education, media, arts, and entertainment, business, and government. Think about that for a minute. This is the new apostolic reformation. Donald Trump, in a 2024 poll, indicated that 41% of American Christians believe in this 7 mountain mandate. And they used the verse Revelation 17:9, which will prove the absolute biblical illiteracy of every person that calls himself Christian. Revelation 17:9. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Anybody that's ever done any actual Bible study knows that the 7 heads are 7 mountains in which the woman sits. This was from time immemorial all the way through the Protestant Reformation. This was tied exclusively to heathen pagan Rome, us. Rome is built on 7 hills. And they said paganry, heathenry of Rome was the whore of Babylon. Isaiah 2:2, that's a double 11. We've talked about that a lot. In the last days, the mountain of the house of Yahweh will be established as the chief of the mountains. It refers back to Revelation 7:9. They're going to destroy us. They want to destroy us pagans. They want to destroy us heathens, because they know if they don't, we'll destroy them. It'll be raised above the hills, specifically relating to those 7 hills of Rome. And the nations will stream to it. I know a lot of you won't remember this, but Paul and Jan Crouch, they put out a movie. What was it called? And they showed supposedly Christ coming back And it didn't come back to Jerusalem, it came back to Rome. I can't remember the name of that movie. It was a theater movie. I was still a Christian. It had the guy from the Spider Space movie in it. Can't remember. Sub-Zero Carry, nice to see you. Really Nigh the Science Guy. Nice to see you. Real Nigh the Science Guy. They don't even know. They don't even know. But this really is huge and hilarious kosher disclosure, because they admit that they're whores of a certain persuasion, because that's who that verse is about. They're specifically relating to those of a certain persuasion ruling the entire world after what they call Armageddon. The leaders of the 7 mountain mandates are paid for, and the followers are too ignorant and too lazy to know that they are branding themselves as being of a certain persuasion. And the truth is that this power of a certain persuasion already holds the 7 mountains. It already holds the 7 mountains. I'll look at her. I can't stand to look at Candace Owens, but I'll look at her latest video. Would that be on X or on YouTube? Biblically, I think you're inaccurate, Matrix, but from a larger standpoint, Matrix is real. 69 says the 7 mountains refer. Is that a Freudian slip? Refer to a bigger picture. They're typically considered to be 7 continents. Not biblically, but from a YouTube, thank you. But from a higher perspective, I can see where you're going with that. You know, I try to keep it to a biblical extrapolation when I'm talking about this. But my point, Matrix, is that this 7 mountain mandate, it's just a Judeo-Christian distraction. It's a Judeo-Christian distraction operation by the Christian wing of the Judeo-Christian, because there's a Judeo wing and there's a Christian wing. This whole 7 mountain mandate is just a distraction so that we will think that those mountains are not conquered. So it's the Christian portion of the Judeo-Christian fear and guilt, blood, magic, mind control matrix, running cover for the Judeo portion. And the secret is the Christians want you to think, oh, we got to take over the 7 mountains, when their Judeo partners that they support have already taken over those 7 mountains. Anyone with any experience in the conspiratorium, who already controls family? Who already controls religion? Who already controls education? Who already controls arts? Who already controls entertainment? Who controls business? Who controls government? All you have to do is look at the affiliation of everybody in power. Everybody in power. More death. Abraham from Tennessee, talking about the late Jamie Lee, who was on this deprogram several times. D.C. also has 7 hills. I'm repeating that. I haven't confirmed that, but it's worth repeating anyway. So this 7 mountain mandate is obviously, I wrote false flag, but more of a psyop. It's a strategy to Christianize the existing world control grid. Because if it's suddenly Christian and not of another persuasion, then it's okay to be controlled by the fear and guilt, blood magic, Judeo-Christian mind control matrix. And this is part of what the Charlie Kirk character was doing, and now what the great whore of Babylon, which is really now Erica Kirk, and I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's really accurate. This is what she's trying to do. She's trying to get you not to notice that the Judeo part of their cabal already controls the 7 mountains of influence by claiming that they've got to try to take them over. All they're doing is what they've been doing, running cover for the people of a certain persuasion. so you don't notice. This is deep, isn't it? This is not your normal Sunday. We've all heard about the King Cyrus Trump plan. We've all heard about the coin. But Trumpus Cyrus is part and parcel of this 7 mountain mandate, diversion and consolidation. The Judeo-Christians have decided they don't need a pastor to take over the world. They need an anointed president. I do not like Candace Owens. I could say she's a traitor to her race. She got her start as a, how do I say it without getting in trouble on YouTube? As a bought and paid for pinup girl, just like Bobbert, just like AOC, through modeling agencies run by people of a certain persuasion. How about that? They want an anointed president now. Peter Wagner is calling Trump a king. Never mind. This is important. Peter Wagner wrote this about King Trump. God is not limited to using Christians to accomplish his purposes. We only need to recall Cyrus, the idolatrous king of Persia, whom God used to get his people back to Jerusalem. Now think about that for a second. Her Majesty asks, why did Netanyahu immediately come out and say he did not kill Kirk? That's a great question. But I would have to say, Her Majesty, that's an admission that nobody was killed. Nobody died during the Kirk event. It's certainly not the Kirk character. Somebody said it on one of the other shows. It was the Charlie Kirk character that was killed, not Charlie Kirk. And I think that's 100%. Thank you, Corrine. She says she loves Not Your Normal Sundays. But he says God is not limited to using Christians. So they're admitting that Trump is not a Christian. I think I've proven that Trump is a Chabadist. But Cyrus got God's people back to Jerusalem. Actually, he didn't. They got him back to Samaria, but who cares about biblical accuracy? But here's the big thing. Oh, Begley. We're going to start going after Begley a little bit. He's also a coward who has consistently refused to talk to me live. For good reason. But this whole idea that when Cyrus came and gave them leave to return, that they all came rushing back, that's a lie. The objective facts of history show that the vast majority of the people of a certain persuasion stayed in Babylon. Why? Because they had become rich and powerful. It's just like today where even though there's a nation of Israel where every single person that's of a certain persuasion can go, they have citizenship, come on in. They even have a pretty cool social welfare system, bought and paid for by the U.S., of course. But just exactly, why aren't all of the people of a certain persuasion moving to Israel? Because they ain't giving up their stuff. For them to move to Israel would mean they'd have to give up control of the 7 mountains. The vast majority of people of a certain persuasion have remained in the USA rather than returning to their homeland. Why? Same reason why the vast majority of the people of a certain persuasion stayed in Babylon and never went back. The things you learn on this channel, like, subscribe, let people know. Let people know. All right. Peter Wagner, the father of this whole thing, said, let me point out that influence is related to spirituality in the religion mountains, but this is not true in any of the other 6 mountains that are molders of culture. The chief producer of influence in the 6 non-religious mountains is not spiritual, but success. Do you hear what he just said? The best way to know who's really successful isn't because they're a spiritual person, but because they're a successful person. The most influential people are the most successful people. He said that Trump has accumulated some $10 billion. He knows how to influence. I want a commander-in-chief, not a bishop-in-chief. So it's gospel prosperity doctrine all over again. The Seven Mountain Mandate is about creating a theocracy, and we have to stand against it. Now, the Seven Mountain Mandate, up until now, but it's morphing, it's changing, they have been going out of their way to appear that they're not talking about a theocracy, when that's exactly what they're talking about, because they're trying to create that theocracy of Revelation 19 through 21, and we all know what God rules the earth at the end. We all know what God rules the earth at the end. Family, religion, education, media, arts and entertainment, business, government. Those are the seven mountains. All of these seven mountains are already controlled by the powerful people of a certain persuasion, and they're supported by Christian dollars, effort, and propaganda and empathy towards what's called as God's chosen people. Therefore, the Seven Mountain Mandate is just a distraction. Christian nationalism is just a distraction. Christian identity is just a distraction to get everybody to forget that these mountains are already owned by the Judeo branch of Judeo-Christianity. It's a Christianity branch running cover for the Judeo branch, so you know that they don't already own it all. 41% of these people, of Christians, believe in this, and 41% of them voted for Trump. Sub-Zero Carey says, "You make way too much sense, Jeff." Yeah, I know. Thank you. This is, to me, the greatest threat in the world today for people that want to remain divine, sovereign, and free. And this Kirk event, Sassafras Griffin, great to see you. This Kirk event this lady is part of the Sovereign Knights of Malta, who are dedicated to serving the poor, and she's got over $100,000 on her hands at a memorial while she's fake crying with perfect makeup. If you were going to pick a modern person in Christianity to relate to the whore of Babylon, is there a better choice? No. You thought Tammy Faye Baker was the ultimate whore of Babylon. Oh, but hold on. Then came Jan Crouch. But this actress right here, she's got them both beat. She's got them both beat. Remember. Thank you, Gresham 2013. The Kirk event. Why are they making it so obvious? It's a great question, Jay Bing. I think because they know we're stupid and they want to prove that we're stupid. And also it's blatant kosher disclosure because they have to disclose it. And I think another thing, the true gods are saying, all right, we got to at least give our people a chance to wake up. Block check. Anyone see me? Yes, Melanie, we can see you. Here it goes, folks. But the Kirk event is seeking to power one last drive towards fulfilling the so-called Seven Mountain Mandate. Remember, they seek to control family, religion, education, media, arts and entertainment, business and government. And there may be a certain part of the Christian part of the coalition. Cynthia's always saying there's cabals fighting each other. And this just came to me, this thought. This just came to me. The Judeo-Christian cabal could be just like the Republican Democrat cabal. So the Christian part of the cabal is tired of playing second tit, hind tit. So maybe the Christian part of the cabal is trying to overtake the Judeo part of the cabal. Talking about Judeo-Christianity, the Christian part of the cabal trying to take over the Judeo part of the cabal. And this may just be the mission of Erica Kirk's Talking Points USA. I know you call it Turning Point. It's really Talking Points. Stole that from Jimmy Dore. Remember, all of these 7 mountains, family, religion, education, media, arts, entertainment, business, government, they're already controlled by the Judeo part of the Judeo-Christian cabal. Maybe they're pulling their support for the Judeo part of the cabal and trying to establish their own Christian part of the cabal as the dominant. Is it just a distraction to get everyone to forget that those 7 mountains are already owned by the Judeo part? Or is the Christian part trying to now take over the Judeo part and become the head rather than the tail? Wow, that's deep. That's really deep. This could be the war of Christianity on their Judeo founders. It's encouraging us to surrender rather than fight for our divinity, our sovereignty, and our freedom. And I'll say this right now. It's the second tit theory, hind tit theory. The Erica Kirk character, let me say this loudly and clearly. The Erica Kirk character is the most dangerous person in America right now. The Erica Kirk character is the most dangerous person in America right now, in my humble opinion. And we're going to start talking about her. I call her Agent Erica. And you're going to see more and more content about this coming out. Agent Erica. Bought and paid for, controlled, of course, but boom, there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, folk, kin, we appreciate you. We love you. I'm about to go eat some ribeye, baby. One of them cowboy ribeyes with a big bone. Oh, yeah. But I love Barkley. So I cut the meat off the bone, gave it to Barkley. It's been a great day for Barkley. It wasn't cooked yet, so don't worry. But yes, we got a lot coming up. We're going to be getting into this Agent Erica. We're going to be getting into the Bundy thing. And it's not just about serial killers, but it's about the fact that they're trying to make us terrified, and they're trying to make us terrified of good-looking white guys. Yes, Scott, Erica Kirk, the character Erica Kirk, and we'll go in and show how she is a character. She's the most dangerous person in America right now. Higher Truth says that, what the hell, I thought King Goat got you. I don't know who King Goat is, but no, I'm still here. I'm still here. And we're just getting started. Folks, love you, appreciate you, think you're the best. And if you just stumbled in here not knowing where you are or what this is what we're all about. This is what we're all about. We want you to know that you're not filled with original sin. In fact, you've got the spark of the very divine within. You're not a sinner on your way to hell. No. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. And I just hope that you will, good to see you, Melanie, take the time to ponder this before you go on bended knee to somebody else's Savior. Because do you really think they're going to save you from the sin they gave you? You're a member, thank you, Renee, of the last generation of real humans. This is war, and this is a war that we're going to win. And it's not a war that we fight just for ourselves, Gresham. It's not a war that we fight just for ourselves. Late breaking news from Matrix is Real 69. I kind of see what you did with that. That's good. Matrix is real. It also sounds kind of like something else. I love it. Matrix is real says that Erica Kirk is the same name as church, same word as church. So Kirk means church. Boy, this is powerful. I got to write this down because this needs to be expanded upon. This is great stuff. Erica Kirk. Kirk means church. Erica means eternal ruler or ever powerful. Of course, stolen from the Old Norse. Oh, you just hit the ball out of the park, Matrix is real. That's what I'm talking about. Divine, sovereign, free. This is war, but because of people like Matrix is real and all these other great people that are here, we're going to win. We're going to win. Because you know what? It's high time. Keep watching my YouTube. There's also a link right there for my X. So between YouTube and X, you'll know when I'm on live again. I'm working a job. It's hard to tell you exactly when. But I think Matrix is real would agree. Not only are we the last generation of real humans, not only is this world going to be better than it's ever been, even sooner than we can imagine, I think that Matrix is real would agree with me. It's time for some retribution.
Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.